Hello, glad to join you at the 52nd International Conference on Biomedical and Cancer Research. I'm Céline Tiffon, consultant medical writer and independent researcher currently based in France. I'm pleased to share the following presentation on diabetes and obesity as interconnected risk factors for pancreatic cancer and the role of chemicals in altering pancreatic homeostasis mechanisms through salivary gland dysfunction. Cancer has become a major public health issue. The number of new cancer diagnoses is expected to rise by over 20% in Europe by 2035. Pancreatic cancers, those 85% are pancreatic ductal adenocarcinoma, are highly lethal with a 5-year survival rate generally not exceeding 10%. Death rates have increased and are predicted to continue to increase. In 2020, more than 495,000 new pancreatic cancer cases and 466,000 deaths were reported worldwide. This dismal prognosis is mainly due to its high metastatic potential, the late manifestation of its symptoms, and its strong chemoresistance. Aside from family history of pancreatic cancer, risk factors include smoking, alcohol consumption, obesity, diabetes, diet, chronic pancreatitis or inflammation of the pancreas, and lack of physical activity. More recently, industrial chemical exposure has been identified as another risk factor for pancreatic cancer, and endocrine disrupting chemicals such as bisphenol A, nonylphenol, and phthalate have been linked to various types of cancers, obesity, and diabetes. Chemical pollutants are among the environmental factors with epigenetic effects. Environmental exposures frequently considered epigenetic toxins include metals such as arsenic, particulate matter from air pollution, organic compounds, pesticides, and other endocrine disrupting chemicals, which represent a group of chemicals that interfere with hormone signaling pathways. Humans and animals are regularly exposed to a wide range of such chemicals. There is increasing evidence to suggest that early chemical exposure, in particular during fetal development, contributes to a variety of diseases, including cancers, which manifest later in life or even in the next generation. Since 1960 approximately, data from numerous reproductive and developmental toxicity tests have provided growing evidence of the deleterious impact of some environmental substances that interfere with normal endocrine function in humans. For example, dioxins, which are estrogen mimics. These substances have been called the most toxic synthetic compounds and can cause a host of adverse health effects. Dioxins can cause immunotoxicity, dermal and hepatic toxicity, endocrine effects, and cancer. Prenatal exposure to dioxin delayed mammary gland proliferation and differentiation following puberty, and consequently increased sensitivity to carcinogens. Studies have reported the harmful impact of endocrine disrupting chemicals on male mammary gland development with transgenerational effects. Alterations have been described in male and female mammary gland morphogenesis after exposure to bisphenol A, an estrogen mimic that may contribute to breast cancer risk. Fetal exposure to bisphenol A has recently been shown to trigger epigenetic changes in postnatal and adult mammary glands throughout life and alter gene expression. Changes in DNA methylation status or chromatin modifications reported in animals exposed to bisphenol A may underpin some pre-neoplastic lesions such as intraductal hyperplasias and neoplastic lesions. In particular, increased expression levels of specific epigenetic markers such as lysine 4 trimethylation of histone 3 have been observed at gene promoter regions in animals exposed to the substance. The salivary glands are another example for which exposure to chemical substances such as endocrine disruptors have been shown to be associated with alterations in development in offspring and changes in specific gene expression and test preferences. The pancreas and salivary glands are exocrine and endocrine organs that share similar anatomical structures and physiological functions. Both glands are organized into acini and ducts. The salivary glands produce exocrine and endocrine secretions that play a role in systemic health. While saliva is an exocrine secretion with many functions, the endocrine salivary glands also produce biologically active peptides and growth factors, including epidermal growth factor, nerve growth factor, transforming growth factor alpha and beta, hepatocyte growth factor, insulin-like growth factor 1 and 2, and basic fibroblast growth factor. These factors play a key physiological role. They are released into the bloodstream to contribute to systemic health and play a role in salivary gland morphogenesis, wound healing, tissue regeneration, and immunomodulation, regulating several organ, tissue, and cellular functions, including the pancreas, liver, lungs, stomach, intestine, and neutrophils. We now move on to the study. The submandibular gland represents a good example of how endocrine disrupting chemical exposure may affect the morphogenesis, structure, and consequently function of an organ. A study reported on the effects of genistein and vanclozolin alone or in combination on the submandibular salivary gland of immature male rats after perinatal exposure. On postnatal day 25, histological analysis showed changes in histology and morphometry. The male control group had very few proacinar cells and a predominance of seromucus acini. Whereas the submandibular salivary gland in immature treated groups, either by genistein, vanclozolin, or the mixture, had more proacinar cells, as shown in the figure. This predominance was more marked in the vanclozolin group and the mixture group compared to the genistein group. Regarding changes in test preferences, as shown in the first figure, exposed males consumed a higher absolute volume of saccharin solution compared to control males on postnatal day 25. The saccharin intake was increased by genistein as well as by vanclozolin and by the mixture. This saccharin overconsumption was compensated by a significant lower water drinking in all treated groups, as shown in the second figure. Consequently, the sweet preference that was 70% in the control group increased to more than 90% in all treated groups. The relative mRNA expression of sex hormone receptors and growth factors as molecular biomarkers of submandibular salivary glands was evaluated. Regarding the sex hormone receptors, the levels of androgen receptor transcripts were affected by the treatments, but not estrogen receptor alpha. Androgen receptor expression was significantly higher in the mixture group compared with the control. As a singularity, a general increase in progesterone receptor mRNA expression was observed in the 3 treated groups compared with the control group, this increase being more significant in the vanclozolin group than in the genistein and the mixture groups. In the same way, as regards the growth factors, the mean level of epidermal growth factor expression was not significantly different in the 4 groups, whereas expression of tumor growth factor alpha transcripts was significantly different among the 4 groups, like the expression of nerve growth factor. None of them were significantly affected by the genistein and vanclozolin exposures. In contrast, they were similarly more expressed in the group of rats exposed to the chemical combination in comparison with controls. The relative mRNA expression of the same genes was analyzed in adult male rats. the levels of androgen receptor transcripts were significantly decreased in all treated groups compared with the controls, like the progesterone receptor transcripts. Regarding the mRNA expression of growth factors, a general decrease was observed. In particular, expression of epidermal growth factor and tumor growth factor alpha transcripts were strongly affected by the treatments, and their lower expression was similar in all treated groups. In contrast, no significant difference was observed in the expression of nerve growth factor. Gustin, also called carbonic anhydrase 6, cystatin C, and mucin 10 mRNA expressions are molecular biomarkers of submandibular secretions that are present in saliva and involved in taste perceptions. The Gustin mRNA expression was strongly increased by genistein alone and mixed with maclozolin, but it was not affected by treatment with maclozolin alone. On the contrary, the expression of cystatin C was strongly repressed by genistein and maclozolin alone, whereas the decrease was moderate in the group treated with the mixture. The mucin 10 mRNA expression was similarly increased in all treated groups. These results were transitory since mRNA expression of all these genes was not affected by any treatment in young adults. The rodent pancreas has recently been shown to be a direct target of nonylphenol, another toxic xenobiotic compound classified as an endocrine disruptor which resulted in metabolic alterations. Like bisphenol A, nonylphenol acts as an estrogen mimic in affected organisms. A study investigated the effect of perinatal exposure to this chemical on carbohydrate metabolism in male rat offspring. Findings were that the concentrations of nonylphenol in pancreatic tissues from groups exposed to the substance were fourfold higher than those in control groups. Morphological analysis showed that the groups treated with nonylphenol had a higher degree of inflammatory injury, edema, and focal necrosis in the pancreas. Nonylphenol induced abnormal expression of genes associated with energy metabolism, suggesting that nonylphenol exposure could induce a glucose metabolic disorder in first-generation male rats. Nonylphenol has been described as an inducer of numerous human health problems, with effects on metabolism by interfering with hypothalamic appetite control, pregnancy, and cancer. Diet appears to be the most significant source of nonylphenol exposure in humans. 38% of the world's population is already overweight or obese. Furthermore, the prevalence of obesity in children and adolescents has risen dramatically over recent decades. The rate of obesity among adolescents is 4 times higher than 30 years ago. Excess body weight and obesity underpin inflammatory and metabolic diseases, including insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. In fact, obesity can be regarded as a state of chronic low-grade inflammation since hypertrophic adipocytes produce pro-inflammatory cytokines such as interleukin-6 and tumor necrosis factor alpha and immune mediators which have local effects on different cell types, inducing a state of inflammation and systemic insulin resistance. Serum markers of inflammation are elevated in overweight and obese children and adults. The pro-inflammatory state induced by obesity may increase pancreatic cancer risk. Cytokines and inflammatory mediators such as tumor necrosis factor alpha, interleukin-6, interleukin-8, and interleukin-10 are thought to participate in the initiation and progression of pancreatic cancer, and inflammation also affects immune surveillance and responses to therapy. Adipocytes also act in an endocrine manner to send and receive signals that modulate a number of processes, including appetite, energy expenditure, and insulin sensitivity. Among its numerous deleterious health effects, Nonylphenol has been shown to increase eating behavior by interfering with leptin signaling in the midbrain. The hormone leptin signals the feeling of fullness after eating, but nonylphenol has been shown to increase food intake by lowering the expression of anorexigenic neurons in the brain. In addition, nonylphenol affects the expression of ghrelin, a circulating hormone produced by enteroendocrine cells of the gastrointestinal tract, especially the stomach. Ghrelin, also called hunger hormone, stimulates appetite and thus increases food intake. Ghrelin expression is positively regulated by estrogen signaling in the stomach, and it is also important in guiding the differentiation of stem cells into adipocytes. As nonylphenol acts as an estrogen mimic, prenatal and perinatal exposure to nonylphenol may increase appetite and encourage the body to store fat later in life. Bisphenol A and phthalate can promote weight gain and obesity by interfering with the action of neurotransmitters and signaling pathways in the brain. Both contaminate food and water and are obesogenic. Adipose tissue is also implicated in the development of chronic metabolic diseases such as diabetes, and a number of mechanisms linking diabetes and cancer have been hypothesized. Insulin resistance, hyperinsulinemia, hyperglycemia, and increased inflammatory processes. The same pro-inflammatory cytokines increased in obesity are also increased in patients with diabetes and are implicated in carcinogenesis, including interleukin-6, tumor necrosis factor alpha, leptin, C-reactive protein, and adiponectin, a cytokine produced by adipose tissue and associated with insulin sensitivity, therefore a cytokine with protective effects against the development of diabetes. Several hypotheses can be proposed to explain how pancreatic carcinogenesis may occur through the interplay between the organs, the role of environmental factors, and putative non-genomic alterations or mutational events that primarily drive pancreatic cancer. Chemical exposure, such as endocrine-disrupting chemicals, may affect both salivary gland and pancreatic morphology and function by altering transcriptional programs and play a role in carcinogenesis to either directly affect pancreatic cell growth and function or alter salivary gland endocrine secretions to have a distant effect on pancreatic function. Chemicals may have a direct diabetogenic effect on pancreatic alpha cells and beta cells, promoting insulin resistance, diabetes, and predisposition to cancer, or by inducing a pro-inflammatory state that is carcinogenic. Chemical pollutants may be obesogenic by directly stimulating appetite via hormone pathways, promoting insulin resistance and diabetes, and predisposing to cancer, or by inducing a pro-inflammatory state that is carcinogenic. At last, the immune system constitutes another target of chemical pollutant action. Submandibular gland development is a sensitive target of endocrine disruption that may have late-onset consequences. Evidence showed that maternal exposure to genistein and vanclozolin alone or in combination may affect the development and secreting functions of submandibular salivary glands in a rat model. Endocrine disruptors can lead to early salivary gland dysfunction, which may predict oral disease. In turn, salivary gland dysfunction may perturb pancreas homeostasis mechanisms and function. The pancreas is also a direct target of endocrine disrupting chemicals. These agents may act as promoters of carcinogenesis. The immune system is modulated by the action of chemicals which modulate the human immune system by decreasing immunity, inducing allergic diseases and inflammation, and inducing autoimmune diseases. Pregnancy and childhood are sensitive windows of susceptibility to chemical pollutants. Chemicals are suggested to impact the development of metabolic diseases, for example obesity and diabetes, even many years after exposure, with adipocytes and pancreatic beta cells particular targets. Thank you for your attention. In case of any questions, please contact me at the email address provided. Thanks and bye!